Hello, welcome to Terrors of the Milky Way. My name is Dale DuFay. Now, as many of you know, I had a channel before which I personally deleted because I wanted to get a fresh start on this. I felt uncomfortable about numbering and categorizing the name and earths and realities, with numbers and, it started from A, went from A to Z to, alpha to, probably the omega, and then 12 realities in each one of those Greek letters in the alphabet. But I felt uncomfortable about that, and I wanted to start fresh. And some have even commented how so it's a shame so much information and material got deleted. But the thing is some have downloaded it and saved it, so I don't. I'm not. It's not really lost. You know what I mean? Plus, it doesn't matter. There's so much to talk about. I can fill all that information up and then some because so much has been learned over the last 3 years. So I wanted to get a clean start, and I apologize about the comments. I know I never liked that when I was watching videos. I thought it was, chicken in a sense. So, but I just can't. I need to focus on this important information and not worry about having to delete comments that have links to porn sites and dating sites and the horrible hate that's out there. It just isn't worth it. I thought I was thick-skinned enough to handle it, but after 3 years, it got too much. So I can't take the comments anymore. But I do appreciate you watching, and if you have a problem with it, I understand. If you don't subscribe or don't watch the videos or anything, basically I'm doing this for my own therapy. Plus, it eases my conscience knowing that I have it out there in public record. What I'm experiencing, what I believe this is all about. Now, I'm not claiming to have the truth or anything. Didn't get the answers from anybody. To me, it's as plain as the hand in front of my face. What the Mandela Effect is revealing. You just have to have the proper attitude and heart and realize that this is a spiritual event. It wasn't perpetrated by, CERN or anybody. I mean, I'm telling you, the CERN's been looking for the answers of life, and the Mandela Effect has already found them. I'm telling you, that's what the Mandela Effect's revealing, is what the creation and life has been all about all along. And it's been kept from us, this parallel existence. But getting to the focus of this channel is just to go over the differences and variations we notice. And some are so drastic. I have an atlas in front of my chair where I sit most of the time, and when sometimes I'll glance at it, and there'll be something strikingly different. But then I'll look, and sure enough, it is, and that you can almost guarantee you shifted into another reality that have always existed in it. We could say that because you're here. You always were. It's just that this replica version of yourself in this reality had another portion of your fractured and splintered soul. That's the important thing the Mandela Effect's revealing now. That philosophical aspect and spiritual aspect to all that, more philosophical is on the other channel called The Mandela Effect Equals Knowledge. I'll leave a link in the description box, but that channel handles the more philosophical aspects of the Mandela Effect and what it's really revealing. And this channel will be more about the Earths and the variations and differences, and why we will see them, and the spiritual aspect of it as well. I have to say that because I usually digress into that. But anyway, with that in mind, the big difference that caught my attention, it's always something about Australia. Now, there was a length of time, several months last year, where Australia was identical. Now, I know we shifted because there were other areas I noticed on Google Earth that were totally different. So, but lately I've been seeing a lot of variations and differences in Australia. And the big one that really caught me, I saw it in the Atlas, was the good old Joseph Bonaparte golf. Now, this golf doesn't exist in many realities, certainly not the realities on the Sagittarius Super Earth. Apparently, it was named after uh, Napoleon Bonaparte's, I think it was his brother or something like that, some family member at any rate. But so the French had their little thing in there. But I always wondered why it was even a named golf, you know. And here in this reality, it actually looks like a golf. And when I zoom in, you could see, this is the part that really caught my attention, that on the Atlas, where it fingers down and into the mainland. Now this is not, it shows it here on Google Earth, and it's not data being updated or anything. This is something that's very unique. I never noticed anything like this in this golf. This golf has always been consistent, like this shoreline is here. It was like that throughout, and didn't go in as far. In some realities, it barely was there, but it was still named. I always thought that was strange, but of course that's that quantum entanglement. There are some areas where it is actually could be considered a gulf, like here. And especially this area, that's what really, really caught my attention. So, okay, so what does that tell me? It tells me, wow, I shifted again into another replica version of myself. And we have to realize, and many of you know this, but it's important to realize that when we do shift, and we have to visualize our souls are the only thing that is shifting. Everything has to stay in the realities, including our bodies and all records and things like that. But when we do, shift, we have to visualize our soul is indeed fractured and splintered, and each portion is in a replica version of myself in a different reality. So when we shift, every portion of our soul is shifting at the exact same time. I always liken it to the musical chairs. It's a perfect analogy. Picture the chairs, the reality. And when you achieve REM sleep, that's no doubt when it happens. To me, it seems like the only time it can happen, because that's the only time that your soul portions are every replica version of yourself and every portion of your soul is in synchronization and in that state, which causes that state of deep unconsciousness, that rapid eye movement. But when the shifting happens, that's when the music starts. So the body, each soul portion is sitting on the chair, the REM point, or whenever the shifting or whatever makes it happen. It's some kind of quantum superposition or something like that. But the music starts. So every soul portion is flux at that point, and it's going in one direction, just like musical chairs, and every portion of your soul is going around the circles of realities, individual realities that you all exist in. And then at some point, probably pretty instantaneously, the music stops. And again, there's no realities that got eliminated. In other words, no chairs got eliminated. That's why I say, musical chairs without the elimination. But when the music stops, your soul portion sits down into that reality, which is the chair in the illustration. So that's exactly what's happening. It's only in one direction. It's not going back and forth. It's always going in one direction, one full loop. There's no beginning, there's no end. Every portion of your soul is experiencing this thing. So every portion of your soul is shifting at the same time. So when you look at the previous video in this library, you're going to see this earth. And it was performed by this replica version of myself that I'm in now. But at the time of that video, the previous Google trotting video, there was a different portion of my soul in this replica version of myself because of the shift. This is the first time this portion of my soul has seen this earth, but there could have been hundreds of other portions of my soul that have been in this replica version of myself during this shifting superposition quantum flux thing that's going on before me, before I even personally, this portion of my soul. We have to remember that every portion of your soul is independent. It has every memory that you ever gotten, and you always keep them. And that's proof that the soul portions are independent, because your soul portions are not blending. They were created splintered and fractured. Each is independent. Each has its own memory because of their own reality they're in. But yet they're constantly connected on a subconscious level. That's why that quantum connection, that's what it's all about. And it's the blend of every one of your realities in this one dimension. That doesn't have to be a dimensional thing. Let's keep it simple. There's plenty of room in this galaxy for billions of realities, hundreds of billions of realities. So, every time we shift, it's every portion of your soul at the same time. And, the big thing is we always been here. So this is obviously, when you find out you're in another reality, which this proved I was, the one, that soul portion that has my memories, the one I was born with, the one I will always have till the day I die, or to the day this, body dies. The soul, of course, will never die. It's eternal, and splintered and fractured, and it has been since it was created. So in the portion of your soul that you remember has always stayed in the reality it was created from. And the amazing thing is, that's what's so incredible. The Mandela Effect, this is the first time that your soul portions have been able to visit other realities that you have always existed in. That's why it's so miraculous and remarkable. And we can tell, again, by looking at Google Earth. I mean, this is, again, the big area. And then this bump out is a little more than the previous video that this portion of my soul recalls. Again, you're going to look back at that video, and it's going to be this exact Australia and this exact Google Earth and everything, because nothing leaves. It's just our soul portions shifting into other, like musical chairs. It's a good analogy. And that quantum entanglement's like a rubber band. Every time, every replica version of yourself is doing the same thing all the time, as much as it can. There's going to be other realities because of the geographic differences we see that are going to be different. So that rubber band's going to stretch, but at the end, it always snaps back to its original shape. And that's what this quantum entanglement's all about. That's why we see variations and differences. That's what puts spice in our lives. That constant connection to other realities that we live in, that have different, that are in different terms in many ways, geographically, time zone wise, many, many ways. But I believe it's obviously that blend of realities that make us who we are. It's really incredible. But another area I noticed was Madagascar. I always check this area. I always make sure that Atlantis is here. This is Atlantis, people. I'm serious. There's no question about it. I know it's in the Indian Ocean, but that's why nobody can find it. This fits every description. I could do a whole video about it. I've done videos about it. This is obviously Atlantis. So I always check this area. Northeast of Madagascar. And this north part of the island is vastly different. It looks like I'm sloping down, and it's like this chunk's about ready to break away and slope down. In the previous reality that this portion of my soul was at, it was more straight across like this, and it had just a little kind of like a top hat, kind of barely came in a little bit and came down the side. But here there's actually a bay here, and it's a huge bay. And to think that this bay does not exist in many realities. I'm not even going to try. I wanted to mention, I made the map clean, so there's no city names or names of the bays and oceans and things like that. So I couldn't pronounce that one anyway. It doesn't exist in many realities. That's crazy, isn't it? But here it is. More proof that we're on a different Earth, and we know it's impossible for things to change like that. It's not Google doing this. You can look at the globe, any globe. You can look at a globe that was made 100 years ago, and it'll show this. Everything stays, and everything is accurate, and nothing has changed. It's impossible. It's it's uh, it's like CERN isn't changing things. The Mandela effect isn't changing things. It's revealing things. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? It's not, things are not different, or things are not changing. They're just different. Sorry about that. I got a little bit of dyslexia going, but I do have that, and it does help me think outside the box. But another area is South America. Now, I brought this up in the previous video in the last few realities. Again, I cleaned it up. I should put the border lines back in there because I wanted to show you. It's really amazing how how Chile is the southernmost point of South America. This little triangle here is part of Argentina, but this here is all Chile, and it's the furthest point south of South America, isn't it? Something Chile even has access to the South Atlantic. Unbelievable. A lot of these realities, if not most of them, especially, and this is the first time I've noticed that Chile was furthest south. It's always Argentina, even on the super Earths and those realities. But that's not so much what I wanted to bring out, because this is nothing different from the previous video. But it is still amazing, isn't it? But anyway, I noticed this right there. See it? There's an impact crater right there. Very obvious. You can see the classic telltale signs of an impact crater. It's got the ridges all around it. You could tell it even may have came in from an angle from this trajectory because the ridge is higher there. And of course there's erosion from being on the ocean floor for who knows how long. This might have been above sea level when it hit, because this light blue area considers, is the depth. The lighter the blue, the shallower. So this could have been above, sea level. I can't imagine a meteorite hitting the water and still be able to do a crater that big on the ocean floor. So this probably happened when it was, above sea level. Let's measure this thing. Let's start the measurement here, and let's go across. Look at that, 10 miles. Unbelievable. That's a huge crater. And I never noticed that before, so that could be new data there, because I never noticed that unless it's unique to this Earth. But I doubt it, because regardless of the different geology and the different sizes of the Earths and the variations and differences we see, events like this would occur. They do occur in every reality. We know this because you could check the records of all geological activity, earthquakes in the past, even weather events. So it's really quite remarkable. Now again, I'm going to clean up the map again, because I wanted to show the Panama Canal. That I see it's one of my favorite spots. I always look at it, and of course, lo and behold, there was definitely a difference. So let's go to right there's the Panama Canal. Again, I took out all the border lines and everything, but this is the canal. This part is, again, this is just a comparison between this reality and previous realities. There's no compare. I've seen realities. I've been in realities which I've always existed in, but been able to visit realities where the canal went straight, where it went straight north and south. In reality I recall, it went straight east and west, and that's all because of the Isthmus of Panama itself is what varies from reality to reality. So that's what causes the canal to vary. Consequently, in other words, I've been on realities where the isthmus was straight, east and west, and the canal went straight north and south, plumb line. And then, of course, the reality I recall, it was plumb line. The isthmus was straight north and south, and the canal was straight plumb line east and west. But this again, it's similar for the most part from the previous realities, like the entrance from the Atlantic side. Of course, not the Atlantic; it's the Caribbean Sea, and you're heading straight south. That's crazy. But anyways, you go through the Charges River, which which a lot of that didn't exist in other realities. They had the luxury of having a natural river system. This lake is artificial, Gunton Lake, I believe. But this part is pretty similar, and then this kink usually varies. But I see a difference in that as well. It comes up sharp here, and then comes straight. At some realities, it goes straight plumb line east and west in this section, which is unbelievable to me because, it obviously does. But the reason it's unbelievable and hard for me to get used to is because this traffic going this way, going east, is wanting to be in the Pacific, which is west. In the reality where this portion of my soul originated, they went straight from the Atlantic Ocean straight to the Pacific, straight west to the Pacific. And here they're going to ultimately want to go to the Pacific, but they have to go several miles straight east. But again, like some of the realities, this straight, and this one is wow, this is totally different. I was only noticing down here, but now that I'm doing this video, I'm taking a more of a look here. This part really comes up. So it's almost, they actually have to, there's so many navigation corrections. Here's the locks. They got to come in and ultimately come through this way. So they got to go straight east, straight south, sort of straight east, then northeast, and then sort of east and a little bit south, and it's unbelievable. Then here they got to make another navigational correction. This is the part that I noticed that was different, because usually this part always just a straight shot out, straight, southeast, straight up, no straight as an arrow. But here it actually kind of curves in a little bit here and comes out, curves more here into the Panama Bay, which again, in the Sagittarius Super Earth's reality, is the Atlantic Ocean when you're coming out, or I'm sorry, the Pacific Ocean. When you're coming out from the Atlantic to the Pacific, you're in the Pacific when you exit the canal. There's no bay, just like there's no, of course there's a Caribbean Sea in every reality, but when you enter the canal in the Super Earth realities, it's from the Atlantic and from the Pacific. That's what was so ideal about this canal, which is obviously ideal in every reality. It's just that sometime, in some realities, the ships are going the opposite direction. Isn't that something? I always thought maybe that's why it took so long to build this thing, and probably takes forever to navigate it, and nobody can figure out why. You know what I mean? So then that's pretty much the areas I wanted to cover. There's more, of course. I don't want to drag on too long on this video. But hey, welcome to another beautiful Orion Dwarf Earth in the inner Orion arm of the great Milky Way galaxy. Another complete reality in the same dimension. It's so easy to think it's a dimensional thing, but it's not. This quantum entanglement works better in one dimension, believe me. And it's being proven by the fact that what the Mandela Effect's revealing, the very fact that it's basically, revealing that quantum entanglement is the basic, fundamental foundation of existence, and it's as simple as that. Now, whether it works in other dimensions, I don't know. I doubt it. I don't see how it could, but maybe it does. Who knows? But the thing is it's revealing our parallel lives and all of our multiple realities that are part of our life. Are all in one galaxy, one dimension. That's not to say it's not in another galaxy, but those galaxies are in our dimension too. So there's just the universe alone. We don't need other dimensions for our life as we know it to exist. And our life would not, as we know it, would not exist if it wasn't for this quantum entanglement. Think about it. But again, I can go on. I see differences in this mid-Atlantic ridge. I see differences everywhere. I thought I saw one. I mean, there's a lot at times. The state lines will vary, and the really incredible thing about it, and I think it's that quantum entanglement thing and that rubber band. How everything's got a basically the outcome remains the same in any event, regardless of the variations and differences during the event. So I think the same is true with the Earth. But then the reason I can say that is because it's one of the first things I noticed. Is even though this is vastly different and vastly smaller than the Earth I recall, where this portion of my soul originated, that reality, vastly smaller, it's still remarkably, and this is the thing that struck me first, is it's still, and that's what makes it unusual, is it's unusually similar. You know what I mean? That's really the thing that really struck me. It is a wonderful thing with the Mandela Effect's revealing. Again, I encourage you to check out the other channel. I don't do comments on that one either. I can't. It's just, I mean, I tried. I left a comment on for a day, and right off the bat, I just got some, comment from somebody who had a different opinion, and of course, there's nothing wrong with that. But don't say, you are totally wrong and this and that, and then when you research that person or hater or whatever, you realize that they have no content whatsoever themselves. They don't have any videos, no articles, no books, no anything. So it's just then I start getting mad. You know what I mean? I don't want to get mad. It ain't worth it. So I can't do comments. I mean, I'm really sorry about that. And then speaking of writing, many of you know I have a book published called Terrors of the Milky Way. Well, I'm currently in the process of revising it. And by doing that, I noticed that there was a lot of parts in it I didn't edit even. And it's pretty much a lot of, I never said I was a writer, and I always warned that it wasn't well written. But, revising it, it was like, wow, it was really, really badly written. I was able to condense a lot of it into more, less words and more meaning, you know what I mean? And that, of course, takes 3 years of experience, and because that book has been out for a while. And I finally, going through it, and apparently I didn't even finish editing it. I thought I did, but I know I was rushing it, and that's the wrong thing to do. It wasn't proper. So I hope, if any of you, purchased it, I'd be glad to give you the revised edition when it comes out. And I'm really excited about it too, because they can do it in hardback now. So that really inspired me to revise the book, which I'm doing. I'm well over halfway done, and it's a lot better. The writing is a lot better. It's but again, that takes years and years of experience, because before I was never good at English, or never dreamed I'd be a writer. But the Mandela Effect makes us do many incredible things. Again, it's, for me, it's all therapeutic. But I did want to get that book straightened out, and I'm so glad I'm doing it now. So when that time comes, I'll let you know how you can contact me to get your free copy, especially if you've purchased it. I'm really sorry about that, because it certainly wasn't worth it. No, $10 for the paperback and $5 for the ebook. Because, some of the points got out that were important, but I guess but it was just not proper to send it out that when it wasn't ready, But this revised edition will be. So with that, I thank you for watching, and we will Google trot at you later. Love you.